Hi Cassandra, this is Bill. I'm sending this along to you to have perhaps address some of the questions you have in your email to me. The first thing I would tell you is that it would be a good idea to use your Writing Matters book, use the index and look up commas, look up fragments or incomplete sentences, look up fused sentences, and just read some of the stuff that's in there, or use the internet. And there's a lot of good stuff on YouTube. You just put the search in the YouTube box for incomplete sentences or correcting fragments or the use of a semicolon, and there's some really good things out there you might want to check out. That's the first thing I want to point out to you. Secondly, I want to take a look at your essay right here, and let's look at this first paragraph to talk about your first question, which had to do with comma usages, or comma usage. In this paragraph, I've added 1, 2, 3, 4 commas, and all of them are added for the very same reason. You are rarely putting a comma at the end of introductory material in a sentence. What I mean by that is this is obviously a group of words, and this obviously begins another group of words. Read it out loud and you'll hear that. But when you have an introductory group of words that is not a full sentence, cannot stand alone, could not stand alone, then you always need a comma after it. This is a phrase throughout Roberts' essay, comma. And in the main sentence he approaches it in the same way. Or this one, while both are stating the same meaning, comma, Shakespeare's famous line draws you in and makes you curious. While both are stating the same meaning is a clause, but it can't stand alone because of that word while. The same is true with this one. When you are blunt in an essay, it causes surprise. Here's the main thought. It causes surprise. This is all dependent upon this, and it begins with this word when. So that's also an introductory group of words. And finally, this little phrase, in his writing, Roberts teaches us. This is an introductory group. So be careful about commas that are needed at the end of introductory groups of words before the main sentence begins. And then I want to address your question about fused sentences and comma splices. Both of them are instances of run-ons. This type of run-on occurs when you, let's get rid of some of this. This type of error occurs when you run one sentence right into another with absolutely nothing between them, nothing even attempting to connect them. So when students write, again, an introductory group of words, comma, they do not think about how the writing can improve them as a person. They think of ways that they can get through the writing as swiftly as they can. This begins a new main clause. They think of ways, and there's nothing between them. The two are fused together right here. So that's called a run-on by fused sentence. The best way to correct it is just when you hear it or see it, put a period in here and make a new sentence with a capital letter here. That's the easiest way to do it. Okay? In this case right here, again, you open with an introductory group of words that needs a comma after it. When using the example of football, don't simply put I am against football because it takes away from studies. That's the end of that first thought. Introductory group of words, main sentence. Then you're giving another command. State that you are against football because, etc. The only thing between these two main thoughts is this comma, which by itself is also not enough to connect them. It's called a comma splice error. There are three ways you can correct that. Put a period, capital S, leave the comma, but add the conjunction that is most appropriate, whether it be and or but or what have you. Or occasionally, when both the left and the right side, both main sentences are about the same length and they're very closely related, rarely and effectively, you can sometimes just use a semicolon between them. So you got to watch out for the run-ons, and you have to watch out for the comma usage, and you're having some problems with that. And then finally, this incomplete sentence. It's incorrectly noted. The incomplete sentence is really right here. Not sure why I have both of them highlighted, but the point is, if you had that, you'd have a sentence, because is a true verb. But the point being to take the road less traveled. This word alone cannot serve as a true verb for a main clause. That's why this is not a complete sentence. And this second one instead of saying or choosing the topic or subject because it is the first or the easiest, challenge yourself. Here's your main sentence. Challenge yourself. It's kind of a command with the subject you implied. So you have an introductory group of words, and this time you did remember the comma, which is good. Okay? And you effectively do that separation right here. Okay? Well, I hope some of this helps. The best thing I would recommend after you've written something, if you have a question about it, email me immediately. Give me the specific sentence, the specific question, the specific um, situation, and I give you some feedback as soon as possible. That's when you'll learn most quickly, and it will stick with you better. The other thing is when you're editing or revising is read a paragraph like this, for example, backwards. Start with this sentence, then read this sentence, and then read this one, and read them out loud. When you're going backwards, you don't have the benefit of the flow of the thought, and you'll see each sentence more easily in isolation. You might well pick up then whether or not you've got a comma splice or a fused sentence or an incomplete thought. So you might want to try that. Hope this helps. If not, get back with me. I'll be happy to help you any further in any way that I can. Take care.